Okay, today's lesson is willingness for success. And God really gave me an inspiration today about being willing. And maybe the opposite of willingness is reluctant. Mm-hmm. And so reluctant people are seldom successful. And but I was asking myself, if I'm not willing, how do I become willing? And I got the answer here in this map of consciousness. God inspired me, at an earlier date, I took you through the negative parts of the map of consciousness. But today I realized that when we put our faith in God, we have courage. That's where you cross the line from the survival paradigm into the paradigm of reason and integrity. So when you choose to put your faith in God, you begin to have courage. You begin to see that God affirms me, life is feasible, God is permitting me and empowering me. All right, so then what happens is we go to the next state of, it's called neutrality. Neutrality means I don't have to have it the way I want it. Jesus said, if it be possible, take this cup away. Nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. We face these situations many, many times in life. Sometimes daily, sometimes more than once. And where we have to say, Father, I don't like what I'm going through. I don't like the situation I'm in. I don't like who you've asked me to work with. If it's possible, take it away. But if it's not, give me grace. Not my will, but your will. Neutrality. So as we move through faith, we first put our faith in God, then we become neutral in our spirit. It doesn't have to be my way. It can be God's way. Then we get to willingness. Okay? When you have willingness, you can begin to be successful, because willingness, the predominant emotional state is the state of optimism. Have you ever seen a really pessimistic person who is successful in life? Not very much. No. It's normally the optimistic. The view of life is that it's hopeful. The view of God is inspiring me. And the process of life is I'm living with intention. Because I'm willing, I have surrendered to God, my will has changed. So when you're still operating out of your will, you're in the negative zone. You're still operating out of your fear. You're trying to control life. You don't like what happens, and so you use manipulation, intimidation, which we've all been there. And so today our lesson aim is God blesses those who are faithful, diligent, and willing. And so let's encourage ourselves and each other. When we're going through a tough time, we can encourage each other. One day I encourage Silas, the next day he encourages me. That's happened to me many, many times. I'll tell somebody something today. Tomorrow or a week from now, they say, let me give your words back to you. It's time for you to be willing. Yeah. It's time for you to forgive. Yeah. It's time for you to be diligent. Exactly. And it's time for you to be faithful. So we encourage each other as iron sharpens iron. Number one, it says willingness is the state of being prepared, ready, or inclined to do something voluntarily, often with a positive or a cooperative attitude. It involves a readiness to act or agree without reluctance, without coercion. Isaiah 1:19, it says, if you are willing and obedient, you shall eat of the good of the land. You can read that picture now.
Nasema ya kwamba kama mkikubali na kutii utakula mema ya nchi.
How many of you want to eat of the good of the land?
Yes. All of us.
Everyone, all of us, he says. We have the formula. What's the formula? If you're willing and obedient. Yeah. Willing and obedient to what? to God. Yeah. When we surrender our will. And that's something that I realized, that surrender is the doorway into willingness. Because down here, you're still operating out of your own will, self-will. But when I surrender that will to God, I become neutral and I say, not my will, thy will be done. This is what I prefer, but not my will. I surrender. I move forward in faith, and I become willing. The next step above that is acceptance. We can talk about that a little bit later. Number 2, being willing. So first we gave the definition of willingness. Now we are being willing. Being willing means we're open to new ideas, opportunities, challenges. Are you open to new challenges? Or do you want to stay away from challenges because you want to stay in your comfort zone?
No.
Are you open to new ideas?
Yeah.
Somebody else gives you an idea and you say, that's interesting, I've never thought of that. Or do you say, no, that's not right? No, I have my own idea. Your idea is not good.
Yeah.
You see, a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
You give them an idea, and they immediately come up with an excuse. Well, that can't work. I was with a man one time in the U.S., and we were servicing our vehicles, and I found out he was the principal of a rather large school. And I said, how do you deal with the teachers? And he said, very simple. They come in with a problem. Most of them know or have an idea what the answer is. So I asked him, he said, here's the problem as you have stated it. Now, do you have an answer? Do you have an idea of what might work? And if he says, if they have an idea, if there's any way that I can see that that idea can work, I just encourage him. You go and take care of the problem like the idea has come to you. If it doesn't work, you can come back. But I want to encourage you to just move forward in this inspiration. Then if they say, I have absolutely no idea, then he says, I give them an idea. And he said, once in a while, I said, no, that won't work. He said, then why did you come? Why did you come? You don't want an idea from me. You just want to complain, so just go and complain. You see? So sometimes when we ask for an opinion and somebody gives us opinion, and then what do we say? No, I don't think that'll work. Okay, why did you come then? But it was good for me to deal with employees and other people. Usually people have an idea. I think my battery has gone dead, and the power's still off. So usually people have an idea of what can work. They just need encouragement. So then we don't have to confuse them. If they come up with an idea, we say, oh, no, I don't think that idea can work. Let's do something else. You see, then they're trying to operate off of your inspiration. And they don't know how to do that. People sometimes come and say, I want you to tell so-and-so such and such. And you're like, I don't even understand what you're saying. How can Silas give Eunice my inspiration? It's very difficult. So we move forward and we help each other move forward with the inspiration that God has given us. Isaiah 6:8, you can read that one.
Nasema ya kwamba kisha nikaisikia sauti ya Bwana akisema, nimtume nani? Naye ni nani atakaye kwenda kwa ajili yetu? Ndipo niliposema, mimi hapa, nitume mimi.
So this is Isaiah. He heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And I said, here am I, send me. Now that's a sign of willingness. If he would have said, I don't know who you can send because I'm reluctant, I don't want to go. Could have he done the work of God? No. But there was a process before he got to that point. God said, I want you to do something. And he said, I can't. I'm a man of unclean lips. So God, in his vision, he took a tongs. He took a coal from off the altar and he touched his lips. Now he said, who can go? And he says, send me. So we don't go in our unconverted state. We wait until we are inspired by God,
Yeah.
and God cleanses us, and then we move forward with that inspiration. Number 3, adaptability. Adaptability is very important for success. Lamai and I, we were farming in Uganda, and we'll get together and we'll discuss what's the next step. And so we come up with some ideas, but then we go over there and we realize it's not like we thought. We have to adapt. You see?
Yeah.
The soil's not like we thought, the weather's not like we thought, the machines are not like we thought.
Yes.
So we have to adapt. If you're not willing to adapt, what can happen? You stay stuck.
No progress.
You stay stuck in your silly idea that's not reality. And so there's no progress. So we have to be willing to adapt. And when you're willing to adapt, it gives you courage and inspiration to navigate the changing circumstances. So maybe Kipchumba comes here in the morning and everything is going well. He's checking his supplies. He has enough viazi. He has enough kundi. He has enough of this. Then somebody calls and says, we're bringing 2 busloads of school children. And we want potatoes and we want ugali. And now he has to adapt. If he's not willing to adapt, what can happen? Chaos.
Chaos, yeah.
It's not going to work. So willingness to adapt. Willingness is what? It's a state of being inclined to do something voluntarily. In other words, you're not fighting with life all of the time. You know, when you're always fighting with life, life doesn't work very well. Something comes up and you say, "No, why did this have to happen? This wasn't in my plans. I don't like this. I think this needs to change." You see, you end up being frustrated all of the day and all of your life. So we need to be willing to adapt. When we do that, we can embrace new technologies. Supposing we have an electrician here, but supposing somebody comes up with a new technology and he says, "I don't want to learn that. That's too complicated." Can he move forward in the electrical work? No. Supposing somebody's farming and there's new technology. Somebody's teaching and there's new technology. Somebody's a mechanic, a fundi. Gadi fundi, I guess you call them. And there's new technology. This new car comes out and it's a hybrid. And so it runs off the battery, it runs off the gas engine. He says, no. Just leave me with the old ones. You see? He's not willing to adapt. Can he be successful? No, not completely. Success is what? It's a good long-term outcome. So for a good long-term outcome, we need to be able to adapt. We need to be willing to adapt. Number 4, taking risks. Success often requires stepping out of your comfort zone. When Isaiah said, "Here am I, send me," he didn't know where he was going. Sometimes that happens to us. God says, "I want you to go somewhere," and you're like, "I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. What do you want me to do when I get there?" And but God normally He just leads us one step at a time. And then, like we heard, grace for life, we begin to find the grace as we move. And just like this morning, I had the lesson, but I didn't have the revelation yet. And so I can say, I'm not ready to teach. I don't have the revelation. But instead, I go and present myself to God, and I say, is there more for this lesson? And that's when my mind opened up about stepping out in faith. And how that when we step out in faith, we let go of what I want to do. You see? And we'll probably go through an exercise. I think it'd be important if we can do that. So, a willingness to take calculated risks. God inspires you to farm. And you say, I only have a small amount of money. Well, then start small. Take these seeds, put them over here in this ground, but prepare the soil properly. Take care of the seeds properly. Take care of the plants properly. Weed out the weeds. If there's no rain, you need to carry water. When I first came here, we went around with a lady who was teaching people how to do the small gardens. What do you call them in the bag? Yeah. And during the dry season, she pre-planted all these seeds and watered them. It didn't take very much water. And now the seeds are this tall, the plants are this tall. In the dry season, they're preparing the shamba, the half acre. Maybe they only have a half an acre. So in the dry season, they're getting all this ground ready, they're tilling it, they're putting it in seed beds. Then when the rains start, they take these plants and transplant them. Immediately, they re-sow seeds here. Okay? Then when these bear, as these ones bear, and the fruit comes and it's gone, they pull this plant out and they put this plant in. So you see they get 2 or 3 harvests in 1 year because of preparation, because of adapting, because of taking a calculated risk. You say, I can't tell how this hard, cold seed is going to do anything. We put it in the ground. We add water. We add fertilizer. We take a calculated risk. If we do the right things, we can receive a harvest. So, Kipchumba, you can read that one, Genesis 22, 2 and 3.
Biblia inasema ya kwamba mwivi akipatikana akiwa yu hali ya kuvunja mahali, naye akapigwa hata akafa, apata kuwa na malipizo.
Genesis 22. It's then God said, "Take your son, your only son whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah, Mount Moriah, sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you." Early in the morning, Abraham got up and loaded his donkey. He took with him 2 of his servants and his son Isaac. You can read that now.
Nasema ya kwamba akasema, mchukue mwanao, mwana wako wa pekee umpendaye, Isaka, ukaende zako mpaka nchi ya Moria, ukamtoe sadaka ya kuteketezwa huko juu ya mlima mojawapo nitakao kuambia. Ibrahimu akaondoka alfajiri, akatandika punda wake, akachukua vijana wawili pamoja naye na Isaka mwanawe, akachanja kuni kwa ajili ya hiyo sadaka ya kuteketezwa. Akaondoka akaenda mpaka mahali alipoambiwa na Mungu.
That was one of the greatest calculated risks I could think of. That was a lot bigger than putting a seed in the ground. Why did Abraham take that risk? Does anybody know? Why was faith? Exactly right. He started the journey. He knew God.
Yeah.
He didn't know what was going to come of it.
He didn't know.
He didn't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have a habit, or we have an addiction, or we have a trigger, something that triggers us and causes us to. What happens when you become triggered emotionally? You are not thinking properly. You're not reasoning, like Obed said, or somebody said that. You're not able to reason. You're just thinking. You're just operating out of your feelings because you've been triggered. That sends you back into your survival paradigm. And sometimes when people go into the survival paradigm, some people, it's like they go into a dark cave. They just withdraw. They don't talk to anybody. They don't seek advice from anybody. They just withdraw into this dark cave, and it's about feeling safe. Some people become aggressive, and they begin to harass other people. And some people become depressed, and they feel so bad, and maybe they give themselves some self-medication for their depression. But when we take a calculated risk and we hear God say, this is the answer to your problem. This is the answer to your addiction. This is the answer to those things that trigger you. Put your faith in me. And so we go out. Romans 4:3 said Abraham believed God and God counted him as righteous. Okay? Now, We say, well, I believe in God, but you don't go out. The proof of Abraham's faith is he went out not knowing where he was going. And so if I tell you here, this building is on fire, you say, oh yeah, I believe that, but you don't go out, do you believe me? No. You see, so your action proves what you believe. And so if I say, I think I smell smoke, is the building on fire? And then you start looking and you say, yes, yes, I can see a small fire over here in the corner. Let's get some water and put it out. Then we don't have to go out, but our action has stopped the fire. So it's not like we're just running and dashing. We're taking calculated risks. And this was the biggest one I could think of because Isaac was the son of promise. And now God said, I want you to go and sacrifice this boy. And so he took a calculated risk. What did he trust in? Did he trust in himself?
No.
Did he trust in his own understanding?
No.
Did he trust that Isaac could rise from the dead? What did he trust in? He trusted in God.
Yeah.
And that's where we have to get to. We have to trust in God.
Yeah.
I've got this problem. I've got this situation. I've got this sickness. I've prayed and prayed for healing. God isn't healing me. Then all of a sudden an inspiration comes. Let me pray for grace. Because God has promised my grace is sufficient. So we take a calculated risk. Sometimes the suggestion comes from somebody else. It might even come from an enemy.
Yeah.
Can you accept that? That God can speak through your enemy?
Yeah.
You see? Now, supposing Silas has dirty hands and he wants them to be clean. He said, my hands have been dirty. I've been doing some things that I shouldn't be doing. God, will you help me? Then he sends him over here to Pastor Obed. And Pastor Obed, let's say, is not a Christian. He's not a good man. He has dirty hands. Can he wash his hands?
No. No.
Yes, he can. He can take a brush. He can hold a brush with dirty hands and wash Silas's hands.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can.
So God can use a dirty hand to wash you.
To wash you, yes.
You understand?
It's true. It is true.
You remember the leper, Naaman? Was it Naaman?
Naaman.
He said, why do you want me to go into this filthy river?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why? I don't understand. This is really a stupid idea. No. The little maid said, this is the inspiration from God. Go in there and dip 7 times. So he dips once. He comes out. See, nothing's changed. Dips again. Finally, at 6, he said, this isn't working. I'm just being stupid. No, dip one more time.
Yeah.
He dips one more time in the dirty water.
Yeah.
And what happens? He's clean. He's clean.
Clean.
So sometimes God uses funny ways of healing us from our problems. We move forward in faith and we submit. Now, if he wouldn't listen to this little maid, this little servant girl, could have he been healed?
No.
No, it couldn't work.
No.
So, number 5, collaboration. Being willing to listen and work with others fosters strong relationships and teamwork. This openness can lead to partnerships, mentorships, or networks that open doors to opportunities. Now, what you'll find is people who are living in the survival paradigm, they are not very cooperative. You give them an idea and they say, no, it can't work. Or you give them an idea and they say, okay, let's try that, but they don't do it. Or they do it one time and then they go back to the old way, and the old way is not working. Because they have fear. They want to control. They said, I have to control people. I have to have people that I can control because I know. You see? And so a collaborative person is willing to listen to others. You know, I gave you that illustration, but I'll do it again because I think it's very worthy. When I went into the forest and I saw the tree from this direction, and it looked completely rotten, I said, that tree is no good for anything. I can push it over. I can come in here and put my hands in here and push it over. Well, then when I looked up, it didn't have any dead branches. It didn't have any dead leaves. So I come around and looked at it from this side. It looks good. It looks like a great tree. Now there are people who have a rotten part in their life. And we say, no, I can't use this guy. Look, he's got a rotten part in his life. So I studied on that for a long time. I was thinking about it. And one day God said, you're looking at the tree like a man does. I said, well, how am I supposed to look at it? That's what I am. I have a pretty good relationship with God. We just talk.
Yeah.
So he said, I look at it from above. I know it's connected because it's bearing fruit. You see? So maybe God says, I want you to put Kipchumba on your team. And I said, no, I can't use Kipchumba. He's got this big rotten spot. You see? Now, if the tree got struck by lightning, was that the tree's fault? No. If beetles come into the tree and ate away the flesh, is that the tree's fault? No. God said, I'm looking from above. I know he's still connected because he's bearing good fruit. So let's use what we can use. Let's use what we can use. Then Lamai comes along and says, yeah, I think we can use Kipchumba. Then let me collaborate with Lamai. God has given me the inspiration. Lamai sees him from a different viewpoint. After this, I started looking for people who could see things from radically different viewpoints. I value people who have another idea. Can this guy see the tree from this side? No. Can this person see the tree from this side? No. So we need each other.
Yeah.
You know, maybe Lamai admits with me that does have some rotten areas. We can't use him for everything, but he's good for this. You see? And so when we are willing and we visit with each other and we're willing to look at things like God does, is this person connected? Are they bearing good fruit? Yes, they have some rotten. There's some damages. Maybe the child was abused. Maybe they were neglected. Maybe they didn't have a mother. Maybe they have all kinds of problems, but they're connected by faith. You see? And they're doing the best they can with what they have. That's all that God asks for us. So why would we ask more? Collaboration. Number 6 is persistence. A willingness to persevere through setbacks builds something called resilience. You know, sometimes we face some really difficult things over there in Uganda. I told Lamai it's nothing compared to what I faced in the U.S. Nothing. This is just a step for a stepper. It's nothing. We can keep moving forward.
Amen.
You see, because I had the experience back there, laying underneath of a semi and the chicken manure falling on me, and it's raining, and I'm fixing a chain, okay? And I didn't have the proper tools. But I persevered, got it fixed, got it unloaded, and got the truck out of the field before it got too wet. Okay? But then there's things like the clutch went out on our tractor. I don't know how to replace the clutch. These guys of ours, they say, this is nothing. We can do this. Okay. So they open the thing all up, and they pull out the clutch, and they hand it to us, and we bring it back to Kenya. So we need each other. We need to persevere. We need to encourage each other. Maybe you've made a flop in the kitchen, and you say it's nothing. It's only one small cup of flour. Throw it out and start over again. Learn from your mistake. Your child does something wrong. You say, it's okay. I remember doing something far worse. I remember one time when I was a kid, I untied my shoes. Then I don't know why I did it. Instead of just leaning down to take the shoe off, I did like that, to kick the shoe off. Well, it went through the window. My dad wasn't very happy with me. So now when my children made mistakes, I have to remember that. You know what? I made a mistake one time too. Several of them. I remember my mom was very short, 4'11", and she was chasing me with a broom one day. And she brought it down to hit me, and the broom handle come into her tummy here, and she broke it. You see? And so we're not perfect people.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
We make some mistakes. We do some things that But we persevere and we learn from our mistakes, and we refine our approach. Maybe I'm trying to converse with Mikasa, and conversation. The purpose of conversation is connection.
Yeah.
And so I find out that I'm not connecting. And so I refine my approach. I go to Maina and I say, this is what I'm trying to convey, but I'm not connecting. Can you help me? He said, oh, I know how to word that so that we can connect. So we refine our approach. Are we willing to do that with our workers? With our family? We refine our approach so that we can connect, so that we can collaborate, so that we can persevere. Even when we don't feel like it. Because a lot of times we don't feel like it. Let's just be honest. You don't feel like it. I see some knowing looks here. By then you've become a little frustrated and you don't want to persevere because you no longer feel like it. But you just say, let me continue. We'll try one more thing. Then we'll try one more thing. Okay, willingness for success brings a growth mindset. A growth mindset is willingness to embrace challenges and view failures as learning opportunities. You know, you can have two different mindsets about a failure. At the end of the day, you can say, oh, I was so stupid. I failed. I don't think I'll ever do that again. Or you can say, guess what? I learned one more way how to not do that job. So tomorrow maybe I'll learn a better way. You know, there's been times that I have done things for years. All of a sudden I got an inspiration to do it a different way, and I'm like, wow, I've been doing it the hard way for years. Why didn't I know this? But I was ready for it. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so when we get ready, we get new inspiration. So a growth mindset drives continuous improvement, which is critical for long-term success. A growth mindset says, we're doing good, but good is the enemy of best. Is there a way that we can do better? Am I willing to get out of my comfort zone and try something different so that we can do something better? Number 8, willingness to accept yourself and your calling. Okay, that's where we come to right here. Acceptance. Acceptance, our predominant emotional state is forgiveness. I accept Silas like he is. He has a weak area, okay? I forgive him for that. I live in a state of forgiveness. We can work together now. He accepts me like I am. He said, Stuart doesn't even know that he has this weakness. He doesn't know that he's stepping on our toes because our culture doesn't do what he's doing. I'll just accept him like he is. And we'll work together. So when we start moving in faith, it gives us courage.
Yes.
Because it's no longer my will, but God's will. When it's God's will, we begin to see that we have affirmation from God. We begin to see that this is feasible. Something that I've never overcome before, I believe I can overcome it. Because God is permitting me and empowering me. Okay? Then we go to the next step of neutrality. Because it's gonna come against what I want to do. So surrender. I'm going to surrender my will. Nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. So I'm working with Silas, and Silas has got us paired together, and we're working like a team, and there's something that he does every day that irritates me. Okay? Every stinking day. I know when I get up in the morning, he's going to irritate me. All right? Am I willing for that? Now let me tell you, there's an oyster, and when it gets a grain of sand here, it secretes something called nacre. Nacre is a substance that goes around this grain of sand and protects the oyster, the soft oyster, from damage. Okay, the bigger the grain of sand, the bigger the more substance is secreted. When this nacre hardens, do you know what it becomes? Does anybody know what that substance becomes? It becomes a pearl. So it could be this irritation together with the grace. Nacre is grace. God says, my grace is sufficient. Tomorrow he irritates me, my grace is sufficient. The next day he irritates me, my grace is sufficient. He's turning me into what? A pearl. You can't become something precious without some fire. Coal turns into what? It turns into diamonds. Under a lot of pressure, under a lot of heat, the coal can turn into a diamond. So expect these things. That's why I was so happy about the first lesson, Grace for Life. Expect difficulties and just say, God, give me grace.
Yes.
This is bigger than I am. I can't do this. But I know with you, there's grace. The grace is sufficient. And maybe it'll turn me into something good. Okay? Does that give you courage? All right. Willingness to accept yourself and your calling. Noah. Was Noah irritated every day? Yeah, the people came and said, what a foolish guy you are. It's never rained and it never will. And he says, no, the rain is coming. I'm building an ark. Oh,
Yeah.
where's the rain coming from? See, back in them days, the earth was watered by the dew in the morning, in springs. And so every day he had to apply for grace. And in the end, he was saved in his family and nobody else. Joseph. Did Joseph have irritations? Yes, he did. His own family. They threw him in the pit. They sold him to slavery. He did this. God turned him into something great.
Good, yeah.
Daniel. Daniel was a faithful guy. Did he face any opposition?
Yes.
Was he willing to go pray anyway? Yes, he was. He went to the window and prayed. They said, if you pray to somebody besides the king, we're going to throw you in the den of lions. He said, throw me in the den of lions.
Yeah.
I'm going to pray to God.
Yeah, accept it.
So they threw him in the den of lions. A miracle happened. That's where miracles happen, is where we are no longer capable. You remember Abraham took Isaac up to the mountain? Dr. Baraka told us, what did he find when God said, he raised the knife to slay Isaac, and God said, no, I've prepared a sacrifice. What did he find on top of the mountain? It's never there. A sheep. Sheep are in the bottom of the mountain.
Can you imagine?
Imagine. Did God fly him up there on an airplane real quick? We don't know. Why didn't he see the sheep before? We don't know. Here he was caught in a thicket. And normally when they're caught in a thicket, they're wrestling around, making a lot of noise. Abraham didn't hear him. You see? So when we get to the end of where we can go, then is where we become willing for God's grace. All right. Moses. Moses was 80 years in preparation. 40 years in the palace. He said he enjoyed the pleasures of sin. Then he did something wrong. He killed the Egyptian. So he fled out into the desert for 40 years. And he learned to know God. So we're going to plan to be in preparation. Plan on it. Maybe not 80 years. And then somebody corrected me. They said, no, he was 120 years in preparation, because all the time he was leaving the children of Israel, he was experimenting with grace and faith. All these things, willingness makes it possible. These Bible characters were willing to fill the place that God asked them to fill. Are you willing to fill the place that God asked you to fill? That's the question today. Okay. Number 9, willingness to accept life, the life you have, and not feel sorry for yourself or allow fear or bitterness to control your mind. Are you willing to accept your life just like it is? That's a hard question. Maybe you've got some pain. Maybe you've got some difficulties. Are you willing to say, God, I accept my life. I choose to believe that you're going to give me grace. Maybe a family member has passed away. Maybe somebody is sick and you see other people doing things, buying cars, buying houses, and you're spending your money and your time on your family member. Every day and every day and every day. You know, out of some of those deep, deep problems comes some tremendous diamonds. There's a lady by the name of Helen Keller, and she was born blind and deaf. God prepared a lady before her who had similar problems and learned how to overcome. This lady came and nursed Helen Keller and taught this blind, deaf child how to communicate. Helen Keller eventually wrote some tremendously inspirational verses. Has blessed people all over the world. But look what she came through. And she finally had to get willing to accept her life like it was. And that's the challenge of a Christian, to accept life like it is instead of like I wished it was. None of us have life exactly the way we wish. If we did, there'd be no need for grace. There'd be no need for Christ. Number 10, willingness to surrender and trust everything and everyone into God's plan. Philippians 1:6. You can read that.
Sema ya kwamba nami niliaminilo ndilo hili, ya kwamba yeye aliyeanza kazi njema mioyoni mwenu ataimaliza hata siku ya Kristo Yesu.
Now I have a question for you. It says, I am certain that God, who has begun a good work in you, will continue his work until it is finally finished on the day when Christ Jesus returns. Will there be any slaves in heaven?
No slaves.
Will there be any slaves in heaven?
No.
Only volunteers, right?
Yeah.
Volunteers are what?
They are willing.
They're willing.
They are willing.
They're willing. How many of you want to go to heaven? Everybody. How many of you are willing to become willing?
You are willing.
You're willing to become willing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go through this. I choose
I choose
to put my faith in God.
to put my faith in God.
I choose
I choose
to give up my will.
to give up my will.
I choose to become willing.
I choose to become willing.
I choose to accept myself and my situation in life.
I choose to accept myself and my situation in life.
I will be a volunteer for God.
I will be volunteer for God.
May God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.